Okay, how we doing today? Hopefully you're having a good day. I know I'm having a pretty good day so far. All right, I saw this article. Let's get right into it. I saw this article, and basically the title was, our reliance on oil in America has gone down. Why hasn't the price of gas gone down? We're not using that much outside oil from Saudi Arabia, the Middle East. That was the reason they gave why gas prices are so high. But here in America, to let you guys know, we've been doing a lot of drilling. We stopped importing oil from these outside countries. So, with supply and demand, if we're using, and we also are using less oil. So the price should be going down of gas, but it's not, it's going up. Reason being, because crude oil has gone up in price. And why is crude oil going up on the stock market? Well, because it's not just our economy anymore. We're part of a global economy. The United States, people, we got outside investors. We got more people from Saudi Arabia, the Middle East, Japan, China, all these countries investing in the U.S. In a lot of these instances, they actually own more than we do. Why does this happen? And also the Federal Reserve, that ties into that, bringing Ron Paul into the mix. We went off the gold standard, so our money pretty much is worthless. We used to have the gold backing up every dollar we had. We went off of that. The Federal Reserve got more and more power, started doing a lot of underhanded things. So this is why gas prices will go up. This is why the price of food has gone up. This is why the price of health care is going up. All of these are publicly traded, and they're owned by corporations and all around the world. This is the real problem. This is the real issue we're having. And this is why I would say Ron Paul is the only person that offers a sensible fix. I mean, look at, for example, look at the price of food. The price of food, like if you want a bag of Doritos, it's controlled. You can own, Doritos are made from corn. Corn can only be grown by 3 companies in the U.S. Now, if you see a documentary called Food Inc., you already know what I'm talking about. And I will be putting links down to that to back up everything I'm saying. But basically, like, if you want some Doritos, they have to be made from corn. Since 3 companies control how much, 3 companies control all corn. Most food comes from corn or variations of corn. And since they control the price of what corn is, they decide, what competition there is for corn. Like, you don't see many competition for Doritos. So, yeah, you don't see much Doritos competition out there. And even these little companies, like if you go to Aldi's and try to get a bag of Doritos, it's owned by Lay's. So, you got 3 companies that own most of the food. And it's the same with oil. What competition do you have for oil, for crude oil? That's why they try to kill the electric car. That's why they're trying to kill, these natural energy resources. We should be able to, not even like in the 1930s, there was, and I learned this from Ron Paul too. In the 1930s, there was a guy who made an engine that could run off of hemp. Hemp is a plant that grows. It looks a lot like cannabis, and you have to smoke so much hemp, but you can get buzzed off of it too, just like tobacco. Now, this guy who made this first hemp engine, he went like to an engine show or something. The next day, he miraculously was murdered, found in a river the next day. So the engine never came out, and all of a sudden, fast forward 70, 80 years later, and we're still reliant on oil and gas engines. So, I mean, that's just an example of, how a free market could help gas prices go down. Because if I said, hey, I'm not going to use gas, I'm going to use hemp, or I'm going to use electricity, of course they will be competing against each other, so the price of that would go down. The same with food. Now, I didn't agree with Ron Paul at first before I got the understanding of it, but I would say a Democrat, even myself included, You know, I've been on food stamps. I'm not gonna lie, I've been on link card. But here's the thing, though, with food stamps, you're not addressing the problem at hand. The problem is people can't afford food. Okay, so instead of giving them just a card or money, you should lower the price of food. Instead of dealing with the symptoms, deal with the root cause. Why is food so expensive to the point where people can't afford it? So they need food stamps. So they need this help, this government assistance. And the other thing with like universal health care, there's a lot of issues with that too. But I will say this, and Ron Paul doesn't make, well, yeah, he's made this point. You know what? If we end half the wars we were in, we would be able to pay for universal health care. But see, here's the issue I have. Right now, we're in a hole. We're in a deficit, okay? Now's not the time to be spending money on more stuff that's going to put us further in the hole. And then with these people, like, it costs pennies to make cancer medicine, but they charge thousands, hundreds of dollars for this stuff. So because, once again, they have patents, there's only a couple of companies that do this. So they can pretty much charge whatever they want. So if it was a free market and they had competition, the price for health care would go down. But with universal health care, you won't have that much competition. So right now I want to focus on getting us out of this deficit. I do want universal health care, especially for children, but at the same time, you got to prioritize. We have to get, that's like, for example, if you're in a hole, $200,000, okay? You sell your house for $300,000. You pay off all your debt, you have $100,000. That's a temporary fix, okay? Now, you sell your house, you're in an apartment, paying $700 a month or something. Eventually, you're going to get back in a hole for another $200,000, and now you don't have this thing to sell off. That's what America did. That's the whole Federal Reserve was getting us out of a jam we were in to help us. And it's a temporary fix, but in the long run, we're going to get back into debt. We're not going to have these things to sell off. And that's what America has to do, and that's what Ron Paul is offering. Like, it's so popular, universal health care. All of these things are popular, but at the same time, who's going to pay for it? Right now, we're broke. We have to balance our books, and then we can talk about these plans. But like I said, I am for universal health care, but at the same time, we have to have a way to pay for it. All right. Hey, that's my video. Take it easy.